Cleveland head coach. This is where I put Paul Brown.
This is where I put Paul Brown.
He's obviously the founder and the namesake of the Browns. He was the coach for 3 of their NFL championships. This was the pre-Super Bowl era.
Yep.
But they were 3-time NFL champions, and he's a part of the NFL 100 team. Hugely influential, great coach. If you see his coaching tree, it is insane.
Yeah.
But even though he coached the Browns and the Bengals, he coached the Browns to championships. He coached the Bengals to a lot of playoff exits.
And I think it's very obvious he's the Browns guy. I mean, when I was looking at Paul Brown, Forrest, or Marvin Lewis for the Bengals coach, I was like, okay, I kind of got to eliminate Paul Brown. Like, it's great. It's awesome. But at the same time, and he was a good coach for us.
Yes.
He didn't fucking phone it in.
Yes, he was very good.
But I very much, it was just too easy with the Browns.
I think their stadium is still named Paul Brown Stadium.
Yeah, well,
the Bengals.
Yeah, we have I don't know if it's, take a look.
I have no idea. All I know is that was a choice to make between Browns and Bengals, because I basically had it in my mind. I was not going to put him on both.
Yeah.
And I felt that he had more success in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought process.
Which is a rare sentence to say.
Yeah, weird.
But
to think about.
The Browns get Paul Brown.
I think the same thing. But yeah, on the Joe Burrow jersey they have and the new jersey they have, they literally have Paul J. Brown on the neck. So and it's Paul J. Brown Stadium. I mean, granted, they are literally they're selling the rights to the name right now.
He is part of the DNA of the Bengals.
Yep.
And listen, sorry Bengals fans, but another Bengals fan even didn't pick him. So
I went for a guy who was more Bengals than a guy who won
with the
championships for a rival.
With a team that's the name of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I got nothing against him, and even with the new naming rights of the stadium, it's blank field at Paul J. Brown.
Yeah. All right. So we both got Paul Brown. Who you got a quarterback? This was actually tougher for me than I thought.
Really?
Yes,
no way.
For a very specific reason. I went Otto Graham.
Okay, so did I.
But here's some stuff with Otto Graham. So he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 3-time NFL MVP, 3-time NFL champion, 2-time passing yards leader, and 50s All-Decade Team, NFL 75th and 100th anniversary teams, and a Hall of Famer.
If you've ever played Madden and thrown 8 touchdowns in a game, you know who Otto Graham is because you've beaten his record or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I struggled with this mostly because, the era in which he played, you would basically surpass his numbers in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
His highest mark for passing yards was 2,816. It's just, so it's one of those things where he's clearly dominant for his era, but this was one where I sort of had to gauge, how much is the difference in era. Because, again, this is a pre-Super Bowl era. This is a huge difference.
It is a big difference.
So I almost debated Bernie Kosar.
Really?
Just because he was the other really good Browns quarterback, but his numbers in the era he played in is a little more comparable and easily translatable. I went with Otto Graham, though, just because the accomplishments are worth it, and I think that he would translate fine.
I think you figured
but yeah, it was a debate just because of the huge gap in era.
Yeah. And you make a great point there. I didn't even really think about it then because I can't name another single Browns quarterback I would ever say is better than Otto. That is the only thing because of how accomplished he is.
Yeah, definitely.
And granted, you don't even have to look at the stats, just kind of see success here, obviously. But yeah, that was kind of why I looked at it. I was like, well, who else do I put in if I say, fuck Otto, you played in a bad era, or you played in an era that was focused on running the football. Who else?
The only one I thought was Bernie Kosar because again he was the only other one that was Pro Bowl or an All Pro in any era for the Browns.
And I sit here and I think Bernie Kosar, Otto Graham. I'm gonna go Otto Graham.
Yeah, that's ultimately what it came down to. Yeah. But it was a question of I'm aware there was another good Browns quarterback that was a little closer and was a little easier to just picture making that translation, but yeah, I went Otto Graham ultimately.
Absolutely.
I also went 2 backs for Cleveland.
Okay.
First one, real obvious, Jim Brown.
I only have 1 back, and I went Jim Brown.
Yeah. So 9 Pro Bowls, 8-time first team All Pro, a second team All Pro in there also, 8-time rushing yard leader, 3-time NFL MVP, a 1-time champion, 60s All Decade Team, NFL 50th, 75th, and 100th anniversary teams. Hall of Famer, one of, if not the most dominant backs in NFL history.
Imagine
This
having,
is a layup.
imagine having 25 years to be from the 75th, like so many running backs from the 75th anniversary team to the 100th.
From the
team.
50th.
From the 50th.
He went
from the 50th.
He went 50th to 75th, stayed on another 25 to the 100th.
It is crazy.
So he's been on the all-time list for 50 years.
People have had the opportunity to dethrone him for 50 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened. What else do you pick?
He's really, really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went with two backs.
Okay.
And I did go Nick Chubb.
I don't even blame you, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
he's only getting
And
better.
again, a big part of this comes down to other positions also, and where I think the strength of this team could lie. And I think that the strength of this team, not to mention picking Otto Graham, I've set him up of if we have to run the ball, we are going to have quite literally the best possible chance to do it.
Fair.
So Jim Brown, Nick Chubb, three-time Pro Bowler, all-around back, tough to tackle, really, really great.
He
One of the
might
best in the league today.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. Of maybe top 5 in the league today.
Yeah, I think he definitely is top 5. Wide receiver, who you got?
I went with Dante Lavelli.
Okay.
40s all decade, Ring of Honor, and Hall of Fame guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, easy peasy.
This is going to be controversial. My number one,
Hit me
I
with
picked
it.
somebody who just had one outstanding year.
Hit me with it.
I went Josh Gordon.
Fuck
Specifically 2013
Fuck
Josh
yeah.
Gordon.
That was when I first was really getting into football. Josh Gordon was
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Listen, that one year, he might not have had another great year in his career, and he didn't. But that one year for him in Cleveland is the best year a Browns receiver has ever had.
I would have smoked an ounce a day
And-
too. And fucking that year. Bro.
Yeah, so like again, one-time Pro Bowler, one-time first-team All-Pro, but that year was a receiving yards leader, and that was 87 receptions, 646 yards, and 9 touchdowns,
Who is the quarterback?
including a 95-yard touchdown.
Who was the quarterback for that?
That
again?
might have been like Jason Campbell
Oh my.
or somebody. No, wait, no, 2013 Whedon would have still been
No
there.
way. It was Whedon.
He would have been in his Whedon would have been in his second year.
You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if he started the whole year, but
Maybe it
that
was
would have
a
been
little
like
Brian Hoyer, but-
Whedon, Brian Hoyer, Jason Campbell, some
Something
combination
bad.
of those
Something
ingredients.
fucking bad.
So yeah,
Like,
but he definitely didn't have longevity in Cleveland, but his one peak year is the best year a receiver's had in Cleveland. So I went him at 1. I'm saying we're getting 2013 Josh Gordon.
if you get 2013 Josh Gordon, that's all you need.
Well, listen, we allow people to, like, you're allowed to put a player who is on your team for 1 year on that roster, but you have them for only as they were in that year.
And he balled out.
That's basically what Josh Gordon was. This is 2013 Josh Gordon, so you got a nasty, nasty wide receiver 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even think about Josh Gordon in that 1 year when I was putting up a lot of these guys who I put on for my wide receivers, since I have 3, obviously.
Yeah.
I have proven guys from a bygone era, basically.
I don't mind. See, listen, this is also something else that needs to be brought up. Part of why I don't have all bygone era guys is I was like, God damn it, I need to have
someone.
I need to have somebody that is not from like the pre-Super Bowl era on this team.
And it's so hard to do that because you're either looking at a guy who proved it to the point of Hall of Fame
Yep.
70 years ago,
That's
80
my
years
that's
ago,
my second one.
or he fucking is a baller in a modern era that was designed to stop ballers.
Yep.
So-
Who's your second one?
I went with Paul Warfield.
That's my second one
Yep.
also.
Hall of Fame guy, Ring of Honor.
Yep.
I mean,
Multiple Pro Bowls and All Pro,
Yep.
70s All Decade team,
Yep.
NFL 100 team.
yep. I mean, if you're on the NFL 100 team, it's worth the shot of maybe thinking of, yeah, it might be a wide
Yep.
receiver 2 for us.
So I've got him here and in Miami.
I think I got him for Miami as well.
You
to be honest.
didn't.
I didn't have him for
No,
Miami.
you
I had
went
Tyreek
the
Hill.
Marks guys and Tyree.
That's right, I did. So yeah, Paul Warfield finally makes it onto my all-time roster.
Overdue,
Didn't have,
as some would say.
didn't have to wait too long though.
No, just the next episode.
Just the next episode.
Yeah. And then who's your third wide receiver? Because I only went Josh Gordon and
Yep.
Paul Warfield.
I went with Gary Collins.
Okay.
4 seasons of at least 10 tutties. That's all I need.
There you go.
That's you're giving me 4 years of fucking maybe 50, 60 touchdowns. I'll take it.
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
I think tight end was a layup,
Easy peasy.
unless you switched it. It's Ozzie Newsome.
I went Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I to be honest with you, I almost wanted to go Jordan Cameron.
No.
But Jordan Cameron had a couple of good years and then went to Miami. And then we never heard of him again.
Yeah, no. Ozzie Newsome, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All-Pro.
80s all
4-time
decade.
second team. Yep, 80s all decade. And this was really one of the first tight ends that turned that position into anything more than an extension of the O-line.
Yeah.
He was one of the first ones to really start turning it into a weapon.
Yeah.
So this was
Slam
an
dunk.
easy choice.
It was a slam dunk.
And-
I wanted to bring a modern player on, but tight end was not the move.
No.
Yep.
But this next position is. Left tackle is also a slam dunk.
Easy peasy.
Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Joe Thomas.
Okay, I was expecting you to meme on me a little bit.
No, not Joe Thomas.
Not with this guy.
Not with this guy. I'll do it with
Nah.
a lot of people. I like Joe Thomas too much.
Hey, he's the man.
Dude, 10-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro, 2010s all-decade team, and he is a shoe-in Hall of Famer when he's eligible.
Absolutely. 11,000 something snaps without getting off the field until finally he gets injured and calls it.
This is one of the greatest tragedies of like the modern NFL is the fact that Joe Thomas was a Cleveland Brown.
He was a Cleveland Brown, and then he retires the year before they make a playoff game.
Even that, he was almost traded to the Broncos the year they won the Super Bowl.
The year we won, we almost got Joe Thomas?
They were going to trade him to the Broncos like in the middle of the 2015 season. But then I think the Broncos... Was it the Broncos or the Browns? I forget what it was. But he was going to be a Bronco the year they won the Super Bowl. And then one of those two teams vetoed the deal.
Oh my! Well, it wasn't Denver. I'll
I
tell
think
you
it
that
might
much.
have been, I think it might have been.
What the fuck are you doing, Denver?
I don't think Denver wanted to trade like what they were asking for. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I just remember that
Hall of Fame
the
left tackle,
Broncos were going to get Joe Thomas.
some random fucker who is not going to be on the
and it's
fucking
not like
team
they
in 2
were.
years.
It's not like they were asking for Von Miller or anything like that.
No, he's
but
he's older.
yeah,
Oh my God.
But
that
he
pisses
was going.
me off. I'm glad I didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
I am so glad that I'm just now finding out about this when it does not matter at all.
Yeah,
In 2015,
yeah, the year they
we
won the
won?
Super Bowl.
oh my.
Yeah, Joe. I feel more bad for Joe Thomas than anybody else.
I feel more bad for Drew Lock. Imagine having Joe Thomas fucking block.
I
for you.
think Joe Thomas
Did he
was already
retire before?
retired. He would have retired.
Yep.
I think he retired like 2 years later.
Yep. He retired in 2017, 2018.
Yeah. So I think that would have been the tail end of Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler debacle.
Paxton Lynch would have. I mean, granted, again, I'm gonna fucking roast Kyler for this. I'm gonna fucking roast Paxton for it. Excuse me. I almost went on Kyler again.
Well, let's not talk about the Broncos too much. Here.
No, I just Paxton Lynch, what an idiot. If you
Oh,
had
I
Joe
know.
Thomas, you'd have to watch film.
Yeah. Again, like I feel more bad for Joe Thomas because he would have had a
Poor
ring.
guy, man.
But yeah, I'm still amazing left tackle, best of like the last 20, 30 years.
Hall of Fame guy
Yeah.
when it comes time. Man.
There's very few people who exist in the same stratosphere with Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
So this was another very, very easy one. Left guard, I got Joe DeLamior. Another repeat like person showing up. He was also on the Bills.
Okay.
In Cleveland, he was a 1-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro, and a part of the 70s All-Decade team.
Okay. I went with Gene Hickerson, Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, 60s All-Decade team.
There you go.
But I think we just went with a guy who's right after.
Pretty much. Center, this is where I sort of drew the line of I needed somebody more modern.
Okay.
Because they have a Hall of Fame center.
Yep, that's who
This
I
is
put
a
down.
Hall of Famer who played way back and was also a linebacker. So he would not, in my mind, have the size to play with like the rules we're playing with against the players that we're going with.
Okay.
So I went with Alex Mack, who is a 3-time Pro Bowler, a first-team All-Pro, and a 3-time second-team. Wait, no, yeah. No, Alex Mack, yeah. 1 second-team All-Pro and 2010's All-Decade team with the Browns.
I mean, man, I don't blame you. I went with the Hall of Fame guy because you see Hall of Fame Ring of Honor. It's just kind of like a done deal for me. But no, actually, I almost think I want to change and go with Alex Mack because I like your thought process there of if we're building this team to run, or in your case, you're building it to run.
I'm building it to run.
And Alex Mack's the guy for that then.
Yeah.
I think.
Right guard, I also went modern. I went Joel Bitonio.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 4-time Pro Bowl, first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro. I think Wyatt Teller can get on this list also. He just needs more time.
Yeah. I honestly, I put another old-timey guy. Dick Shafrath.
Yeah.
Dick Schifrat.
See, this is just the debate when it comes to the Browns of like they've had a lot of good players in their history, but all of them are way back.
Yeah, I think Dick over here absolutely deserves a Hall of Fame nod or something like that. May he rest in peace. Former Ohio State senator, so dude's just an Ohio guy through and through.
There you go.
Yeah, I like the work ethic. He's the right guy for right guard situation. However,
All right.
I'm big on Joel Bitonio.
Yeah, I went old guy for right tackle because they do deserve to be represented on this
Okay.
list. I also, again, I get frustrated when there's not a good mix of eras on a list like this. I
fair.
sort of feel the need.
Yep.
But right tackle Mike McCormack, 5-time Pro Bowler, 9-time All-Pro, 2-time NFL champion, and a Hall of Famer.
I like that one. I went with a little bit different. I went for a fun one. I went with Lou Groza.
Okay.
But also with him being a right tackle, he's also a kicker.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about him. Yeah.
I was like, no, this is too fun.
I remember reading about him because I thought about putting him as a kicker.
I almost wanted to be like, yeah, you can kick if you need to, brother. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. But Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor, they retired 76 for him. 50s All-Decade Team and MVP in 59.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe the body isn't there because absolutely, if he's playing kicker, I can't imagine he's 340. But, I mean,
You got a little O-line, my friend.
I got a little bit of an O-line, but here's the thing. I just need Otto to throw it and get it out as quickly as possible to either or hand it off to Jim Brown to the left where Joe Thomas is and let Jim Brown do that.
All right. Yeah, I've just built this thing with the idea of ground and pound.
I do not blame you. I do not
All
blame
right, so moving to the defensive side. My first defensive end is Myles Garrett.
you. Me too.
Yep. 3-time Pro Bowler,
good.
2-time first team All-Pro, 1-time second team All-Pro.
One helmet bashing.
One helmet bashing. The best talent the Browns have ever fielded on defense. I think that's not crazy to say. And he will surpass Clay Matthews for the most sacks in Browns history this year unless he's hurt. He's like 3 sacks away.
Is he really?
He's really
He's already that close?
Yes.
Wow.
There's another player that's really close to an all-time sack lead for their team that I'll tell you about that you're going to be shocked by.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. But absolutely, I think Myles Garrett's just a fucking beast.
Yep.
He's
still so young.
young as shit, too.
Yeah, like this is a player that this will be the best Browns defender by the time it's done.
I can't believe they didn't bring in Bradley Chubb when they had the opportunity. Granted, Denzel Ward's pretty fucking awesome. So
Yep.
they made the right pick, but I imagine that a disgusting, and granted, maybe Bradley Chubb's a bust at this point, so it wouldn't have worked. But imagine Myles Garrett and another
Bradley
bastard
Chubb.
like Jadeveon Clowney when he was there. Is he
Yeah.
still back? Did he resign? Did he go back? Or
I
is he with
believe
someone
he
else
did.
now?
I think he resigned.
Okay, so yeah, I think man, that's only gonna make his job easier.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, and man, I he's a beast.
Who
It's hard to fight against that.
Oh yeah, that one's easy. Who you got at the first D tackle spot?
I went Jerry Shirk, Depoy in 76. And I figured Depoy at D tackle, doesn't matter what era
Fair
it is,
enough.
you're probably just a world record.
I went Michael Dean Perry.
Okay.
5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first team All-Pro, 1-time second team All-Pro, 3rd all-time in sacks for the Browns from the D tackle spot.
So I don't blame you.
And then my second one, I went Bill Willis.
That's who I went with.
3-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All-Pro, NFL championship, 40s all-decade team.
Yep.
I'm always a little hesitant of the 40s guys, but
80 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a little hesitant about
Yeah.
the guys who played
It
almost
always-
a century
It
ago.
always concerns me, especially because we've said we're playing with 2000s rules.
Yep.
But I decided to go with them.
I think there are some people that, especially like a D tackle situation, like 40, like I don't think granted, excuse me, I don't want to fucking sound stupid, this time.
This time.
But I think if you were able to kill it the way that you were back then as D tackle, I think you'd be able to make it work today.
I think the only issue is
Body size.
body size and just blocking schemes and stunts are more complicated now.
Well,
But
sure.
that's why we have Paul Brown to
That's-
catch us up.
Paul Brown.
But yeah, so the other D end, I got Jim Houston, who was a 4-time Pro Bowler for the Browns.
yeah, I got him as middle linebacker somehow. I don't know.
He played linebacker and D end.
I think I moved him to middle linebacker.
He made his Pro Bowls at D end, so that's why I put him there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have him as my middle linebacker. For my other left end, I got Bob Gain, who or not my other left end, my other defensive end. I got Bob Gain, just a fucking
My two
monster.
left ends.
Yeah, he's just a monster. My two left ends. I mean,
That sounds like the name of the best football poem ever.
bro, my that right side of that D line that right side of that O line is fucking going through it if we have two left ends. But yeah, no, I got Bob Gain over there, just the stud from the 70s, I think.
So I only have 2 linebackers, so I went 3 corners.
Okay.
But my first linebacker was really easy. It was Clay Matthews.
Easy.
4-time Pro Bowler, 2nd-team All-Pro, Browns all-time leader in sacks with 62
Yep.
for now.
Yep.
That will end this year
Yep.
unless Myles Garrett gets hurt.
We'll give him the nod.
This is a very underrated player. This is somebody who's been a fringe Hall of Famer for a long time. Hasn't quite gotten in, but is very much at that level.
Absolutely. I got him right there, too. I got him as my left outside linebacker, that blind side rush. Ring of Honor. I mean, take a look at his family.
I'm gonna have him and Myles Garrett running stunts. The two leading Brown sack artists of all time.
Disgusting, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is dirty as shit.
Yep.
I'm right there with you.
All right. So middle linebacker, I went Walt Michaels, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL champion.
That's my right outside linebacker.
All right.
So,
And then you said your other linebacker is Jim Houston.
Jim Houston, baby.
Yeah. I just moved him to DN because it said that he made his Pro Bowls after the position switch. So that's why I did that.
Yeah.
So cornerback number 1, I went Hanford Dixon, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All Pro with the Browns.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Easy peasy.
Cornerback 2, Frank Minifield,
Okay.
4-time Pro Bowler, first team All Pro, 80s All Decade team.
That's who I have it too, but I'm going to actually make a projection here who I think is your number 3. Do you want to say him really quick and maybe I'm wrong?
Denzel Ward.
Yeah, that's a projection I'm making.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave him off this because I think that he is too good.
He's too good.
And the other thing, the Browns did not have a third linebacker that absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
So I thought Denzel Ward would be on here. So that's my third corner.
Yeah.
I really also shout out to Joe Hayden.
Big time. Oh,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, Browns oddly enough, corner is like
he's 4
of all the positions for the Browns we get at. Corner is just up there for them.
I know it is honestly weird.
Yeah, I'm projecting. I got Denzel Ward 3. I'm projecting that he'll be good. He's still young in his career. Already has 2 Pro Bowls. One of the best young cornerbacks in the league today, and with more time, he could become the best one in Browns history. But he's just not there yet.
Yeah, it's just early, but I think it's absolutely feasible to watch this guy just ball out for him his entire career.
So the way I've got this is you're not going to throw on us, and we're going to keep the ball away from you. That's my strategy for this Browns team. That's like
not a bad one.
That's my whole thing. I'm not going to let you score fast.
I'm not going to let you score fast.
And if you can't do that,
you're going to have to run the ball.
Yeah,
to have any success.
Yep. And then when we get it, we're just going to ground and pound you to death. So
not a bad plan.
Moving on to safety, free safety. I got Tom Darden.
Same.
Pro Bowler, 3-time second team All Pro. He had an NFL interceptions leader with 10, and this was back in like 1978.
Yeah.
And he's the all-time Browns interception leader with 45.
Yep.
So ball hawk from the free safety spot. That was big to me. I need a turnover machine on defense.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I think he's the right guy for that position.
Who you got a strong safety?
I got Warren Lahr.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went with Eric Turner.
Okay.
A Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. I considered a few people. Deshaun Gibson had some good years in Cleveland, and so did T.J. Ward. But
man, shout out T.J. Ward.
Yeah, but they just didn't hit. They didn't hit the All-Pro level. So yeah. I figured again, if Josh Gordon can be included for one great year from the safety can also be included. So that's what I went with.
Your first team All-Pro in 1 year is not bad at all. So I mean, you're getting a first team safety.
Yep.
I went with Warren Lahr, just a little bit more proven guy, Cleveland guy that people have already kind of had that context with. Unfortunately, I forgot to write down stats or accolades for this guy. So you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. That absolutely he was a good corner or a good strong safety for the Browns and for a good amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, I considered doing the Gibson and Ward pairing because they were more modern safeties, and I think DB in particular that's important.
Yeah,
but I went with the dudes that were just had the numbers to back it. So kicker
safeties, I'm fine with dipping a little bit further back in. Corners, I do like to have at least one guy who's proven it in this.
I almost feel better about corners because if you just man them up, it's simple.
You say that, but we're gonna be talking about the Steelers soon.
Yeah, but listen, that's a little different than almost anything.
There's
But all right, so kick.
All right, well then.
So we're not going to talk about the Steelers yet. All right, so kicker, who you got? I got Phil Dawson.
Phil Dawson.
Yep, highest field goal percentage in Brown history. Punter, I went Gary Collins.
I went Don Cockcroft. Highest average.
There you go. I went with Gary Collins because 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro,
Yep.
60s All-Decade team. Also played wide receiver and tied for the league lead in touchdowns. So I put him in here for his versatility. God forbid somebody gets hurt. We're throwing the punter out there, damn it.
Hey, fuck it. That's why I strictly put in a punter who was a wide receiver for the Bengals.
Well, there you go.
I'm right there with you.
There you go. And then kick returner, punt returner, Josh Cribbs.
Same.
Yep.
2000s All-Decade team.
Yep. Pro Bowler, All-Pro.
Yep.
Really, really good.
Guest star on the league, which is how I ever learned about the guy.
There we go.